Hello and welcome back to Mostly Superheroes, the podcast. This episode is for you nerds. Catching up on DC, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Star Wars, comic books, retro games, and more. This is an interview with yours truly, Logan Janis, along with Scott, Swearin' Jim, aka Scotty Scoop, hosting our good friend, James Enstall from Geek to Me Radio, also the host of Two Rivers Comic Con, May 23rd through 25th. You know we're giving away tickets to the event. Check it out. And we also have a booth at the Comic-Con all weekend. So come out and see us and enjoy this episode where we really cover the gambit. We really pride ourselves in bringing you episodes focused on just that one thing. This is not that episode. This is the episode where we talk about a little bit of all the franchises with a real pro, James Enstall. So enjoy this one. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. We'll see you at mostlysuperheroes.com. Enjoy the show. All right, James, where do people find you? And
you can check me out at Geek to Me Radio on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/Geek to Me Radio, youtube.com/Geek to Me Radio. If you're a player on YouTube at all, go there, hit the subscribe button, and then click the little bell icon so you get notified when Joey V, my executive producer, is in studio with me. We go live every single Sunday with video where you can see our guests who we're talking to. And we have a new show. I've not missed a single Sunday with a brand new broadcast since I've started my show. So even Memorial Day weekend, that Sunday, will be pre-recorded, but it will be new content. So you're not going to get a best of or a repeat.
And it's the real deal with real guests and real stars, amazing interviews.
Thank you.
Really, kudos on the show. And of course, tworiverscomiccon.com. We'll see you May 23rd through 25th. That's Geek to Me Radio, Cloud9 Comics, and a lot of other sponsors.
Are you from here?
Yeah,
James?
born and raised. Yeah.
How old are you?
I just turned 50. They very kindly sent me an AARP card in the mail, like on my birthday. I was like, "Fuck you! How dare you?"
I get it. I'm getting close. I turn 45 next month. Always a nerd.
Yeah. No, I grew up. It was that perfect storm with an '80s kid, where you've got everything was a comic book, a toy show, and a cartoon tie-in.
Yeah.
So G.I. Joe, Transformers. I've kind of just devoured all that stuff, and it's kind of nice that it's now serving me well. So,
oh yeah,
take that, Mrs. Glauser in the third grade, who said reading comic books won't get you anywhere in life. Ha!
Oh man, I get it. Do you collect anything?
I ended up selling my collection in 2020. Maybe it was 2021. But I had a sizable collection, but I mean, at the time I was like, "Gosh, this is horrible. This is so sad." But it turned out really well because the person who bought my collection is now the main money behind me launching this Comic-Con, because I know he did CGC facilitation as well. So I said, "Hey, if I put a Comic-Con on, would you help me with CGC facilitation if we offer that?" And he said, "Do you need any money?" I'm like, "Absolutely, I do." Who doesn't? Who's going to say no to that?
Right.
And then he and I kind of teamed up, and then he's got all the business savvy. I always liken it to a newspaper. There's the publisher and the editor. And he's the publisher, I'm the editor, because I've got let's do this. I've got this creative idea. Let me reach out to these people. So I've got these contacts that I've made from 8.5 years of doing the radio show, and then the Comic-Cons I've gone to, and now I've got those people in a Rolodex. I can just be like, "Would you guys come to my comic?" And most of them, luckily, have said yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. What any kind of special interest, like comic books that you were really into, or?
It's mostly been DC and Marvel. I'm a Batman guy.
Yeah.
But mostly DC and Marvel. There's, as I'm gotten older, my taste have just matured, but I've gotten more into stuff from the indie publishers. What's the one now Charles Soule is doing? The Seasons, I think.
Yeah, I haven't picked that one up.
That's actually been really good. We had him on to talk about that. And then what was the other one? Gosh, Lucky Devils.
Oh yeah,
that's a really fun one.
I did pick that one up. Yeah.
So yeah, there's been a couple of ones like that I've kind of gotten into lately. I'm like, keep that on my pull list. And every so often, I still get Valiant comics because I like Shadow Man.
Yeah.
So I'll pick up some of the Valiant comics occasionally. But yeah, what about you?
Man, so much stuff. I think my favorite would probably be Brian K. Vaughan.
Okay.
At this point, Saga is just so good. Why the Last Man, Ex Machina. I think I got Pride of Baghdad over there.
Oh, nice.
Man,
Did you like the transition for the TV series from the comic book to the TV series for Why the Last Man?
didn't watch it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Didn't watch it. I could
Why not?
tell. I
Why
think
not?
it was. I can't remember who did it. But I could tell from some of the previews that it just wasn't going to make it.
Mm.
And I was like, there's no way this is getting renewed, and I don't want to invest my time into something that I love so much and be let down.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of wish I wouldn't have watched the Dark Tower movie
I'm with you on that because that was terrible, and I cannot wait
until they do it.
until they do the Netflix series,
Yeah,
which is
and
coming soon.
And also, I'm still here, by the way. You two.
Oh,
Should I just
yeah,
get out of
sorry.
here? No, actually, I do want to take a back seat. You guys keep it going because I was really excited for you guys to meet and swap interests, and we haven't been doing enough books on the show lately.
Yeah.
So that's like I feel we do movies, no problem. If they're a sponsor, they're making it through nowadays.
Yeah.
We are not doing enough comic book stuff. So
yeah.
like, eat, boy, eat.
I've always been more of a Marvel guy, not too much into DC.
Mhm.
There is some stuff here and there I like to pick up. Anything's got Booster Gold in it. I'm
Nice.
down for. He's
I
one
love
of my
that
favorites.
Smallville episode. I love that
Yeah.
Smallville episode.
Yeah, it's funny because I interviewed Dan Jurgens about all the stuff he's done, and I specifically asked how he liked Eric Martsolf as Booster Gold. He said he nailed the part. Just Turn of Fate. About 3 months later, I got to interview Eric Martsolf. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd love to talk to you about Booster Gold. And he laughed and said that was so much fun to play that role. I can only imagine. And then I was hoping we'd get a Michael Faison season of Legends of Tomorrow. And like they introduced him as Booster, but then they just dropped the ball on
yeah.
that, didn't get picked up again, which was so disappointing.
We got a TV show in the works.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
HBO. I
For
think-
Booster Gold.
Yeah,
Right,
I
yeah.
think it's supposed to be Kumail Nanjiani. I
Mhm.
think if
Wow.
it's works out.
He's got the personality.
I
for
think
Booster.
so,
I
yeah.
like that casting.
I love it.
Although he's almost like Pedro Pascal, and the guy's just popping up in everything.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and he's good.
yeah.
I know.
Give me more.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Wonder Woman 1984. It's a podcast. You didn't just see my face, but boy, it was a doozy of a face. And but
They can't all be gems.
Was like a bright light in that movie. Like as ridiculous as he was committed.
And we got
Yeah.
that great meme out of it too.
Oh, which one is that?
It's the one where he says, "This is how you are, but you could be more." And it's the two faces of him, and people
Yeah.
are pairing up with all the different memes and putting things in what we could have had versus what we got.
I don't think I've seen the meme yet. Needs to get in my life.
I'll find it and send it to you. I won't
Sorry,
find it.
Scotty. We just literally said you could talk about comic books and ended up tangenting
No,
all
it's a
over.
comic book. I mean, I still think the first Wonder Woman is probably the best DC movie
Mm,
Oh yeah.
that they had.
Yeah,
Let's,
very
man,
solid.
we might have to change that tone here in another month.
Yeah, getting ready for Superman. I mean, my anticipation is so high. We saw a trailer before Revenge of the Sith last night, so I'm just seeing this movie and getting the chills on that first trailer. They showed the first trailer, and I was gonna watch whatever they put in front of me, but it was just the first trailer. I'm pumped.
I know you didn't watch that 5-minute clip. Did you watch it that they put out?
No, not the whole thing.
He's
no.
like me on the no trailers
I
kind of.
try very hard
Oh,
to stay away.
really?
It's enhanced my movie enjoyment, honestly.
I don't mean to say like me. I just meant to say a genius.
Yeah. I've been, I'll watch the teaser
Yeah.
and I'll watch the first trailer,
Yeah.
and then I try to avoid most stuff
Yeah.
after that. But I mean, usually they hook me, and I come back and I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll watch it.
And they know that we'll watch it, and they know that we'll come see the movie no matter what. But like that has bit me like in The Flash. Like it finally like came back around and bit me where I was like, well, now the movie's been ruined.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really like the movie's rough, but it's not like
I enjoyed The Flash.
me too. It's not bad. It's not bad. But I was so upset. Like I was just kind of like bored, and like it was just like Captain America, Brave New World. Like spoiler alert. Here's the Red Hulk. Even I have the respect to say like spoiler alert. They just put him in the trailer now. They put him on the poster.
Yeah.
That was disappointing because if you read the comic books, Red Hulk was a mystery for, I don't know.
Couple of years.
Yeah. For a while. He
Like,
would
who
come
is
in
it?
and wreck shop, and it was like, who is the Red Hulk? And, you had to narrow down the list of suspects, and then eventually it came out that it was, spoiler alert,
But they had
General Ross.
that poster with the Red Hulk's hand-grabbing Cap shield.
Like, yeah.
Imagine if the poster for Endgame had been Cap holding Thor's hammer. imagine the difference
Right.
that would have made
Yeah.
in your viewing experience.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they did.
You just know so much. It was the opposite of revealing the Hulk. It was like they were showing Harrison Ford almost like change into the Hulk for 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
You know, where he's just like, oh,
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
and he's like, he never quite changed. His calf gets
edging to the Hulk.
We are definitely repeating ourselves. Go out and check out that Captain America episode. We talked all about every part of it, but it's good to, we haven't talked about it with you. What'd you think of it?
I haven't seen it.
Wow.
I've been burned now. Secret Wars was horrible.
Oh
I didn't
my
even
God,
finish
it
the
was.
series.
If you that's
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
That's what I meant. Yeah,
it was real bad.
I didn't even finish it.
Well,
Definitely a low point.
That's fair though, because that's a really bad show.
It's
the worst show in the Marvel universe, like for sure, I think.
Yeah.
and it was like Falcon and Winter Soldier with Skrulls.
But
So we
Falcon
kind of
and
already
Winter Soldier,
saw the whole.
I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
did.
even with the villain problems. It had some because of rewrites, I think, with COVID.
Yeah.
I think there were some pretty intense rewrites. Like if you pay attention to like how like there was a virus and stuff, it just kind of abruptly changes. I think they just had to make a move, which also like I feel like there would be like it would be great to have like a law or a rule like when making these movies that there's a cutoff for edits. Like it should be like you got to leave it on the floor at some point because they're doing these reshoots up until a month before the movie now.
And then that just increases how much the movie costs, which then they can't figure out why they're only breaking even at the box office. So yeah, I would agree that'd be a good rule.
And typically you can feel it. Now I would love for someone to challenge me on this. Like if James Gunn said to me like Guardians of the Galaxy, you have no idea. We shot reshots all the way up until the moment. I'd be like, oh well, don't change a thing, I guess. But I'm not an expert. I'm just a fan watching from afar. All right, what else you reading, Scotty? Let's go back to comics.
Absolute Universe. Have you checked that out? DC Absolute stuff.
I've not. I've just out of muscle memory because like I said, I'm a Batman fan. I bought every single issue of Absolute Batman. I haven't read a single issue yet.
You're gonna love it.
Oh, it's good.
Really?
You're gonna love it.
Okay, I couldn't tell if that was a facetious face or not. Like, oh,
No,
you're gonna love it.
No,
It's
you're
really
gonna love
good.
it.
Okay.
It's really good.
Okay.
It's like it's just. I mean, you like the Ultimate stuff in Marvel?
Somewhat. I mean, the new stuff. Like, I'm reading Ultimate Spider-Man. And I'm really enjoying that.
Oh man,
It's
that
so
is
good.
so good.
So it reminds me of like that. Just
Okay.
kind of like sharpening
it
these
is.
things
It's
up.
It's the ultimate universe of DC now.
right. Well, you tell me, like, because you're reading every week. You think is that
Yeah.
a fair assessment?
Oh, for sure. And it's just like,
Like-
hey, these are the characters you love, but we've put this spin, like Batman does not have the huge fortune, and all the money backing him, and Superman has not had his upbringing from the Kents, and Wonder Woman was raised in hell. And it's just different spins on the characters, and now they've got Green Lantern, Absolute Green Lantern, and Absolute Flash,
yeah.
and Absolute Martian Manhunter as well.
I feel like with that, you might be you're looking like because the MCU was based off the Ultimate Universe mostly. I mean, just from what I've read and seen in documentaries and whatnot, and just from now reading those comics and seeing them, like I'm like, oh yeah, this is almost pretty close. I could see like James Gunn's reading a lot of Absolute comics right now, and if do you guys watch DC or listen to DC Studio Showcase, the podcast? That's like their new official podcast. DC's
Okay.
Fantastic Frankie, Coy Jandreau, and Tyler Coates. They're the hosts, and it's a great show. It's on HBO Max, so you can watch it. They just had the kid that's in one of the sons in Righteous Gemstones, but he's playing Jimmy Olsen in the Superman movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
They got him on the latest episode,
Nice.
and it's hilarious and fun. And but just going back to that Absolute, like we might be looking at some future movies. I feel like based on or TV shows based on those Absolutes, because I mean, like we've seen Batman and Superman done in different ways. I don't know if we've ever seen it pretty. Maybe I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on like you said, Batman's your guy. Where are you at with the Batman movies? Sorry to steal the comics show again, and feel free to take it back to comics. What do you love Batman wise?
The 1989. Actually, honestly, out of all the movies that they've come out with, Mask of the Phantasm is still my favorite movie of all the Batman movies. But a very close second is the 1992 Batman Returns with Michelle Pfeiffer, because that was one of the few movies I feel like towards the end, Warner Brothers, let's pack in as many characters as we can. They balanced it so well between Penguin and Catwoman without either one really stealing focus. And they lost that thread when you get to Batman Forever, because it was obviously... You've got Two-Face played by
Riddler.
Tommy Lee Jones, of all people, and you make him the Riddler's sidekick.
Yeah.
Which was like, I know Jim Carrey was hot at the time, and they gave him more stuff, but it was disappointing to see.
what a visually cool movie, Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Man, it was so visually really cool. Like as a kid, it was like that giant green question mark and just all of it. That was the transition, and then Batman and Robin. How's that?
We all know what that was.
How do you feel about that?
I defend that movie.
Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
or Uma Thurman.
I defend that movie more so than Batman Forever because I think, no disrespect to the late, great Val Kilmer, I think George Clooney did a better Bruce Wayne. And I think at the end of the day, anyone can put on the cape and collar and be Batman. Being Bruce Wayne is the hard part.
Yeah.
And I think George Clooney nailed it. I also loved that portrayal of Mr. Freeze because in the comic books, they just brought Mr. Freeze back to life. Batman 525, I think, with him on the cover in the big armored suit. So that's what Mr. Freeze looked like at that time. So I was fine with that as well. There are other nitpicky things I could do, nipple picky things if you want to go down that road. But
Perfect. That was really good.
But yeah, I prefer Batman and Robin just a little more over Batman Forever.
I like the Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze more than the Gotham Mr. Freeze.
Yes.
Did you like Gotham?
I did. It
Kind of got cheesy. It's cheesy and villain of the week.
Yeah, the premise started out okay, but when you've got he doesn't age that much in the series. So when at the end of the final episode, when you've got a basically 18-year-old running around as Batman, I'm like,
I know, and it looked goofy a little too. It looked kind of like he was like too small for the suit still.
But I will say Sean Pertwee was a fantastic Alfred. I loved him as Alfred. He was great.
Yes. Yeah, that there is Pennyworth, the spinoff. Did you watch that?
I didn't.
Me neither.
No.
You watched it?
I didn't even watch Gotham.
Nice.
It just didn't interest me at all.
Okay, then talk to us about the
Pattinson.
No, let's not skip Bale.
Oh, Christian Bale.
Bale.
Those were good movies.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, no, I think the grounded and realism thing that Nolan always goes for is great. I thought the casting was phenomenal. I don't know if it was just naivete on my part, but I was shocked that we got Talia al Ghul at the end. That's who it turned out to be.
Oh yeah,
I was shocked by that ending, and it was her escaping the hole, not Bane.
Oh my gosh!
So I thought that was a really well done movie. There were other parts I can see why it's people's least favorite of the three.
Oh man, I loved it.
But it was very good,
grandiose, and let's go, destroy this football field, let's go.
Yeah, I think the only problem I had was the voice, Bane's voice.
Oh, see, my biggest problem of the whole trilogy is just Christian Bale's voice.
Yeah, those movies were good. I was not a fan of Christian Bale's
Everything
portrayal.
else is perfect. In The Dark Knight, I mean,
yeah.
And I to the point, I do like how the Harley Quinn series on HBO Max is now using that voice for Bane.
Yeah.
He talks like that the whole time.
Yes.
You mean I was born in darkness?
You mean Venom?
Yeah. But it was I think it's the weakest of the three, but I still loved it.
All right, and then Pattinson, Matt Reeves.
So I liked it. I thought it was that right out of the 1970s, Neil Adams, Steve Englehart, Marshall Rogers aesthetic to the if you read Detective 470 to 478, that's the aesthetic they got out of it. The Batmobile, it's basically Batman year 1.5.
Oh man.
And I thought they did a fantastic job. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think Pattinson would be good, but it's one of those things where I always reserve judgment. Michael Keaton wasn't supposed to be a good Batman because he's Mr. Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Craig is blonde. How can he be James Bond? The guy with the big ears, really? And he did a great job. I always try to reserve judgment.
Yeah, until you see it.
And then sometimes I'm proven right, Zack Snyder, with your casting.
And I feel like we saved the worst for last. I guess we have kind of jumped around because I think Pattinson, I'm okay with it. It's not like I'm in love with it, but the more I reflect on it, I kind of like that tortured Bruce Wayne and just kind of a more blunt Batman figuring it out. And I thought they really nailed the Batmobile.
Yeah.
The flying scene of him barely making it out of the precinct. I was into that. And it
gave us the Penguin spinoff, which was so good.
Well, I would say that was heading the next thing, and we all loved it. I mean,
so good.
You loved it. It's so good. It's gonna be back. I can't believe how good it was.
Yeah, my only downfall for the movie was the S&M bondage Riddler. That did not work for me at all. I'm like, what? I don't know what you're going for, but that's what you needed really to make. I didn't like that at all.
Right? Yeah, it did, and it starts off just real hard. He's a hardcore villain.
Yeah.
And then it was such a grand plan. You could never have assumed it was gonna start with a single murder and then flooding Gotham essentially. I wanted to see more of that flooded Gotham and the Penguin. I feel like they just that wasn't really no one was taking boats everywhere. That's what I pictured.
Right. Yeah.
It seems like the water dissipated, I guess.
They didn't. They kind of touched on it briefly and mentioned it, but I don't know how. I have to go back and watch it to see how far removed it was from the events of that movie. If it was like a 1 year later or 2 years
Yeah,
later
I
thing.
think it was it was some time later, 9 months, 10 months.
All right, I think there's 2 more notches in this conversation. The second to last one, I think. You guys tell me if there's more, but all right, Snyderverse. What are your thoughts on Affleck and the Snyder movies?
I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought he did a good job. The only casting issues I had a problem with were Ezra Miller as the Flash and our Lex Luthor that we got, because
Ah.
it was
Jesse Eisenberg.
it was like Frank Gorshin's Riddler and Heath Ledger's Joker had a baby, and that's the kind of thing we got for Lex Luthor. It just wasn't. It didn't. That never screamed Lex Luthor to me at all. It seemed. I couldn't even tell you what the villain was. But again, and then Ezra Miller's Flash always seemed like Bart Allen.
Yeah.
Never,
Oh, yeah.
never Barry. Always
Yeah.
Bart.
Yeah.
Good call.
So that's other than that. I mean,
Gal Gadot,
Yeah.
she was fantastic.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best.
Great.
And Henry Cavill was such a good Superman.
Ray
It's like,
He
Fisher.
was, yeah.
yeah, no, Ray Fisher's Cyborg. I thought he was great.
He was really great. Yeah, I mean Henry Cavill. Yeah, I mean
Yeah, it's like when you get someone who's perfect for the role, but then you have crappy writing. Like you've got Henry Cavill, and you get that. It's kind of like when you have Peter Capaldi, and you're writing the stuff for Clara Oswald. If I can dip into Doctor Who
Yeah.
briefly.
He's
So-
he's gonna be lost, but I am not.
Okay.
I'm getting I'm almost like acclimated just through references. I've never, I haven't seen it, but I'm starting. I know the words. I recognize when they're happening. I'm like, we're almost done. I like that we're talking about the past before it's too gone to remember, because like we lived through the Snyderverse, and there were like choices made. I mean, what about like Black Adam,
I enjoyed that. I thought the cast was great.
the Justice Society?
Yeah. I mean, that was, and again, that's one of the things I loved. Stargirl.
Oh, me too.
So good.
Luke Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's his name? Is Dr. Fate?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
Dr.
was
Fate.
Perfect.
I love seeing Dr. Fate again. Love Dr. Fate in Smallville.
Yeah. I think the casting, Aldous Hodge, who I knew from Leverage, which you've never seen Leverage, please watch it. It's like each episode's like a mini Ocean's 11 episode. It's fantastic. But
Wow,
they've
a lot
got
of people pushing Leverage lately.
Is it? Well,
Really?
Yeah, it's
Uh-oh.
back now. Yeah.
Somebody, Aaron was just pushing on Free Space TV Leverage. You can watch it for free, and he had one of the main actors on his show and interviewed him. He used to be
Christian Kane.
Yeah, he was on Angel.
Yeah, Christian
Yeah,
Kane. Yeah.
yeah.
He's phenomenal. He's the hitter, and then
Yeah.
you've got a hacker and a thief and a grifter, and they all team up to rob from corporate people who are doing bad things.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like a kind of a Robin Hood thing, but they're very smart. Dean Devlin's the executive producer. But I got sidetracked. Aldous Hodge is Hawkman
Nice.
in Black Adam.
Yeah.
And he did a great job. I liked the guy from Entourage as Atom Smasher.
Oh yeah, he was great.
He was good. And then Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate was perfect.
Yeah.
And then there was the girl with the wings.
Yeah, no, not Hawk Girl. She was she
She was like a fairy or
Mhm.
something. She had like, or I'm almost there. Who's gonna win?
Cyclone.
Played
Cyclone.
by
Contessa Swindell.
very good. Look at that, man. You really know your stuff, James.
Yeah, she was great. I would have liked to have seen it was. I know even if they did a female robot, I would have liked to have seen Red Tornado.
But what'd you think of The Rock?
He was good. I mean, he wanted that so badly
Yeah.
for so long,
Yeah,
and to
it was-
finally get to play it, I was very happy for him.
I guess like it makes sense that you say that, because I have similar feelings to how I felt when I saw Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we
man.
talked about Black Adam in here, and it was not. We didn't really review it very well. It was. I remember just being like,
Coming fresh out of it, I was like, man,
just
this was
disappointed.
disappointing.
We were just disappointed in this, like the story a little bit, but like overall, like I loved the Justice Society. I liked like seeing The Rock have like all these powers, and it's definitely visually stunning. And then the awkward Superman moment.
Yeah,
And
when
then-
it was not Henry Cavill.
It was him.
It was.
Okay.
And
Yeah, it
no,
was him.
He's him. He steps into the light and he's like, "Looks like you're ticking me off or whatever."
Oh,
Yeah.
Amanda Waller sends him, first of all.
Yeah.
That was also kind of like, he doesn't work for her.
right. Nor would he.
But whatever. Yeah, I'm into it. James Gunn's wife from Harcourt from Peacemaker was in the movie, and James Gunn said like, I had nothing to do with that. That was a Warner Brothers thing. All right, so then Henry Cavill goes on social media and says, I'm back as Superman. And then like 2 days later, he's
Yeah,
like,
he's
hey,
like,
James Gunn
"Actually,
is
I'm
like,
not
I'm not back. We met with James Gunn. And then it was so sad. So sad moment. We've already lived it. Were you upset about this? Did you pay attention to that moment happening? Like, were you excited that Cavill might be back? Are you like that big of a Cavill fan? And then like it leads to like David Cornsweat is our Superman. So how you feeling about Superman, Cavill, Cornsweat?
Yeah, I think when I said it wasn't, I was thinking of the scene when he comes in at the end of Shazam and you see him from the chest down.
Oh yeah, in the
that
lunchroom.
wasn't actually, that wasn't actually, but yes, I forgot
In
about
the
the scene you were
lunchroom.
talking about in the cave. That actually is Henry Cavill. But yeah, I
That was crazy.
yeah,
It was like, what? I was like,
'Cause
okay.
I'm a big fan of, Thing versus Hulk, Wonder Woman versus, so I
Yes.
like the heroes fighting.
Me too.
I would love to see one of my favorite Justice League Unlimited episodes is Clash, where Captain Marvel, Shazam, and
Mhm.
Superman go head to head.
Yeah.
I love seeing it. So
Oh,
I was
yeah.
hoping that we would get a Shazam versus Superman fight.
See, with all like
I was
go ahead.
hoping I was hoping for Shazam to show up in
Black
Adam.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, duh.
and it was
They're-
disappointing that they didn't make that happen.
Well, it makes sense though because the Red Hulk's in
doesn't make
Captain
sense.
America,
Right.
so it makes total sense. Everything makes
It's-
total.
It's all connected.
Do you ever you get frustrated, right? Where you're like, why didn't you just call me? Scott's like, I know what you needed to do. You can do this better.
I mean, any fan can tell you like that's not the right move.
Hey, it's Logan from Mostly Superheroes, the podcast, here with a very special announcement. Alamo Drafthouse St. Louis hosts their program Charity on Tap, where they support local groups and organizations that need their help. Next up on Charity on Tap at Alamo Drafthouse St. Louis is Team Jakey End the Stigma. Team Jakey has been ending the stigma in the St. Louis area for over 11 years, helping advocate for mental health resources and support, and partnering up with groups like the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention Missouri and Provident Behavioral Health in St. Louis. And it's not just Alamo Drafthouse teaming up. We, of course, have our friends Four Hands Brewing Company helping us out as well. Beginning April 1st at Alamo Drafthouse St. Louis, for every Four Hands citywide American Pale Ale purchased, $1.50 will be donated to Team Jakey to help support their mission to end the stigma. The first 100 patrons will receive a prize pack, a limited edition koozie, and sticker pack, and more. Big thank you to Alamo Drafthouse St. Louis for their generosity with Charity on Tap and Four Hands Brewing Company for helping out with the cause as well. You can learn more about Team Jakey on Facebook and at mostlysuperheroes.com/Team Jakey. You can also see our event details, mostlysuperheroes.com/events. That's mostlysuperheroes.com/events.
Hi, everyone. I'm interrupting this podcast to talk about another podcast. Hi, I'm Randy Naughton. You know that lady from TV for so many years? Well, I too have a podcast called More to Say with Randy Naughton. Interesting conversations with interesting people. And when I say interesting, I mean amazing people. What about the Mac Daddy of all sportscasters, Bob Costas? Phyllis from The Office. Phyllis Smith is her name. Alan Hunter, one of the original MTV VJs. We talk to people about medicine, about tech, about travel, you name it. Great conversations. Now, they're, again, not interviews, they're conversations. So you never know where they're going to take us. Make sure when you're done with this podcast, check mine out. It's called More to Say with Randy Naughton, available wherever you stream your podcast.
Hey, Mostly Superheroes fans, it's Logan here, and I've got the perfect spot for your next night out. City Winery, St. Louis. Imagine this: intimate shows with your favorite artist, world-class wine crafted right here, and great food that'll make your taste buds dance. Whether you're catching a live concert in their cozy listening room or planning an unforgettable private event, City Winery St. Louis has got you covered. It's the ultimate blend of music, wine, and dining, all under one roof. Don't miss out. Check out their full show calendar and book your table at citywinery.com/St-Louis. That's citywinery.com/St-Louis. We'll see you there. Hey, superhero fans, it's Logan here from Mostly Superheroes. To celebrate 40 years of Voltron, we've got something truly special for you. The Little People Collector Voltron 40th Anniversary Gold Label Set. This buildable set features the 5 original Defenders: Keith, Lance, Pidge, Hunk, and Princess Allura. Each figure comes with a helmet featuring a metallic finish and clear visors, except for Pidge, who needed room for his glasses. But that's not all. These Space Explorer figures are packaged in individual lions that you can assemble to form the mighty robot Voltron. ready to defend the universe from King Zarkon and his nasty robeasts. Head to store.voltron.com, linked up in the description of this podcast episode, and snag yours today. You can get 15% off your order by using promo code MOSTLY at checkout. That's store.voltron.com, and remember to use promo code MOSTLY. Hey squad, Logan here. You know what keeps our adventures fueled? The incredible brews from Four Hands Brewing Company. They've been our go-to craft brewery since 2012. Our studio fridge is always stocked with their finest, from Citywide Light to Incarnation to Divided Sky to Chocolate Milk Stout, along with the latest seasonal and small batch releases. Whether you're downtown, Kirkwood, the district in Chesterfield, or passing through St. Louis Lambert Airport, Four Hands has you covered. Grab a cold Citywide. They're a philanthropic brew created to give back to the St. Louis community. Since its launch in 2016, Citywide has raised over $300,000 for local nonprofits. For every case sold, $1 is donated to carefully selected charities. If you're in the mood for something different, check out Four Hands Extended Family 1220 Spirits and Withered Oak. They've got cocktails, seltzers, and non-alcoholic options to quench any thirst. And a special deal for you Mostly Superheroes fans. Mention Mostly Superheroes or the password MOSTLY to your bartender at any Four Hands location and you get your second beer free. Must be 21 years of age to redeem. Again, go to any Four Hands location, mention Mostly Superheroes, password MOSTLY, and get your second beer on us and Four Hands. Limited time promotion. Get it while supplies last. Visit them in person or head over to fourhandsbrewery.com. Follow them at Four Hands Brewing Co. on Instagram and social media. Cheers to great beers and even better times with Four Hands Brewing Company. And we have an announcement. Taps for Team Jakey is back. Sam Zeller, how are you, man? Welcome back.
Better after this news.
This is good news.
This is long time coming. 8 years plus since we've had this event, so this is going to be great.
May 22nd at the Four Hands downtown. Yeah, we got a mutual friend in Four Hands. You guys have been working with them forever. And May 22nd, mark your calendar, 2025, Team Jakey's back.
Yeah, I want to pack the place.
Yeah.
As much as they'll let us.
Logan here from Mostly Superheroes. You'll often find me, Carrie, the Giggler, and Scotty Scoop at one of the most creative, coolest, nerdiest spots in town. We're of course talking about Steve's Hot Dogs in St. Louis. You already know them for their ever creative hot dogs, brats, bowls, cocktails, crossovers, collaborations, their hashtag Feed the People program, live music, and events. You're also eating the official hot dog of St. Louis. Their all-beef hot dogs, cold smoked and grilled to perfection, are legendary in the Lou and beyond. Steve's Hot Dogs at a STL soccer match, a Blues game, Battlehawks game, or one of their many locations throughout St. Louis. You can also order online for delivery or pickup. Visit their website, www.steveshotdogsstl.com. That's www.steveshotdogsstl.com.
To pivot into your next question was, I think I'm confident with James Gunn
Here
because
we go,
he is
the
such
new
a fan.
The new age.
Yeah.
The James Gunn, Peter Safran time. I love Peacemaker. How about you?
I thought it was a lot of fun. I didn't like the characterization on Vigilante so much because I grew up reading that comic book.
Same.
And
Isn't
so
it-
it was...
They really goofballed him up.
Yeah,
man.
they nerfed him.
They
It was
turned
like-
they turned him into Deadpool. Basically.
I'll tell you this though. I'm sorry that they may have just trashed this character. So they needed to just come up with a new character because I like Vigilante not knowing anything about the comics.
That's
and
fair,
just
yeah.
in terms of I really laugh at his jokes. Maybe I'm
yeah,
I'm
it's funny.
I guess because I'm effed up. I'm fucked up.
No,
so
I'm right there with you. So, but
when he picks up that trash can and throws it into the prison window at the prison so that he gets arrested and goes to prison. I mean, anyway.
that was a nice Arrested Development touch. Getting put in prison.
Yeah.
And
So-
yes, I watch that almost every night. It's one of my favorite
Yeah,
shows.
it's
No
great.
touching. But yeah, I thought it was good other than the characterization of Vigilante. I
Okay.
liked everything else.
And we got season 2, James Gunn Suicide Squad.
It was an improvement over the David Ayers one,
Sure.
which had Joker in it for no apparent reason because you can't do Harley without Joker, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably the best we ever saw the Joker in the whole DCU with Jared Leto. Like that one scene where he's driving the purple Lamborghini with Harley in the seat, Batman on top. Like this is the best you get. Like it's just this one scene, and then it's over.
But it was also just off-putting casting. I don't know. Again, the same person who cast Ezra and Jesse must have cast Joker too.
Names.
Because I was like, oof.
Yeah.
Morbius.
Going for names, big names.
Morbius.
Morbin time.
He's in the new Tron.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind him as an actor. Like, he was good in Blade Runner 2049. He was fine.
Nice.
He was great in that. I don't mind him as an actor. Obviously, Fight Club was fantastic.
Yeah.
What about Bloodsport?
Didn't see Bloodsport.
Or no, what's his name? And Idris Elba.
Oh, okay, the character. I think I was going to the
James
movie.
Gunn.
Sorry.
James Gunn Suicide Squad.
He was great.
Right? That was a good character to
Yeah.
bring in.
No, I liked
Polka Dot Man.
Yeah. It's some real, Ratcatcher.
I've had David Desmelch on my show a couple times, and he is the biggest comic book
such
fan. And
a
to
fan.
see him go, I mean, he to talk about getting cast as Polka Dot Man, he was so excited to be cast as the guard in Dark Knight that Joker uses, the cop.
Yeah.
And then he just did
Yeah, that's right. Yes, and he's laughing. Oh
And
my God, yeah.
he was Abracadabra in the Flash TV series as well.
Mhm.
So he's such a comic book fan, and he just gushes when you talk about these projects with him. And then he was just in that last voyage of the Demeter that came out 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And you can tell he authentically loves his job, and he's over the moon to do these parts. And I love seeing that. So I was very sad that, spoiler alert, Polka Dot Man got.
Yeah. I'm a motherfucking superhero.
I just picked something up that he wrote. It was maybe like a DC horror issue or something.
He did for the anthology.
Yeah.
The one with Superman on the cover when Superman's kind of screaming. Yeah, he did. He's a huge horror guy too.
He did that movie. The movie he just released a couple years ago.
Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then he does his own comic book series from Dark Horse called the Count Crowley, where it's this very reluctant superhero whose dad had worked on supernatural stuff, and I think he's done 3 series of 4 issues each. So if you get a chance to go back and pick up Count Crowley, that's a great one too.
And then Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
She's good as Harley Quinn. I'm over Harley Quinn. I think we're at 90s level Punisher, where it's just oversaturation. You don't need Punisher and Wolverine in every single book. You don't need Harley Quinn in every single movie. And I think we need to give Harley Quinn a rest.
I just today I found a podcast. Have you heard about the DC High Volume? It is a full cast recording reenactment of different Batman comics. So they have already done Batman Year One.
Okay.
And they're working on The Long Halloween right now. I think they've gotten 2 episodes so far, but I just found this today and had no idea they have been doing this. There are like 8 episodes so far, and listen to like the intro, and it's like radio drama, full cast.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm into that kind of storytelling.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out for sure.
What's it called again?
DC High Volume.
Yeah, I've always been a DC guy. 'Cause
Yeah.
I had the Superpowers toys when I was a kid from Kenner, and they had a great line of toys too. They introduced Cyborg and all these kind of offbeat characters like Golden Pharaoh, but then you could watch the cartoon on Saturday mornings, and again, they got to it the comic book series too. So it was that trifecta for an 80s kid.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Having all of it.
Get you with everything.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, what do you guys think? Anything else we didn't talk about that we should talk about before we wrap it up? I guess we're looking forward to the new DC universe, the Marvel universe. You're into DC and Marvel. I heard you say that. I am too. That's where we pretty much live and breathe. Scotty gets us caught up on everything else too. We also watch Invincible, and he reads Invincible. You
Man,
into those?
Invincible is
Haven't
just
started
so
the
good.
series yet. Haven't started the
is so
series,
good.
but everyone said it's so good.
Okay, great. I haven't read it. I have only seen it. I'm such a fan. He's done all of it, obviously.
Yeah. X-Men 97.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
You a fan?
Man, it was so good.
Season 2 is coming. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Way better than I ever thought it could have been.
I mean, Avengers Doomsday. I know. King Dynasty. That was he sent me it was like 2 years ago today when they announced the title.
2022 they announced it, and it was supposed to
3
come
years.
out tomorrow.
Well, you got to pivot sometimes if
Yeah.
depending if your stars
Blade.
get caught doing things.
Blade, we'll never see that.
Nope, only going to be one blade.
Yeah.
Like Wesley Snipes said.
And I love it. Deadpool looks right into the. I rewatched that movie a lot. You like Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah, like a perfect movie. Honestly, the more and more you watch it, you're like, "There's nothing wrong with this
Yeah,
movie."
fun.
That's one of the few series where each movie got consecutively better because I'm a Juggernaut
Yes.
fan. He's probably my favorite Marvel villain. And when they actually did him properly, and it wasn't just Vinnie Jones, God love him, in a big helmet,
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which X-Men 3 was disappointing for several reasons, but
a lot of
that's what they
reasons.
should have done. I wanted the big CGI
Yeah,
Juggernaut,
oh,
same
yeah.
size as the Hulk. Yeah, that was each installment of the Deadpool franchise has been better. So I'm excited to see what they do for the fourth one.
I know, and he says he's
See.
right. He's writing.
Yeah.
Here we go. He's done.
They got to pull him in for something else
I mean-
before then, for sure. He's
I-
going to be in the next Avengers. Maybe not the next one, but the Secret Wars.
yeah, you got to put him in it, and like maybe you just bleep him or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You just could do a lot of bleeping, and
Yeah.
like you're fine.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts. Interested? Not interested?
I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't.
Early
I'm
reviews
hearing
are
good things.
Her early reviews are good.
Yeah.
But I always say like F those. Like
Yeah.
I don't really.
Yeah.
They don't know.
No, I'm a fan of the original comic book, and you don't get that reveal that you're going to get in the comic book. So this is more of the 2008 comic book kind of
Yeah.
look they're going
Yeah.
with.
And these aren't really like villains,
Right.
like you would have in
These-
the Thunderbolts book.
These are definitely like the anti-heroes.
Yeah.
It's not.
This seems
villains.
more like a Dark Avengers kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like DC Suicide Squad,
Yeah,
honestly. Which
it
I'm
is.
kind of like, I used to feel like DC was constantly trying to play catch up to Marvel. In
Mhm.
this instance, I feel like Marvel's now trying to take a page out of DC's book because they're faltering on most of their fronts
a
right
little
now.
bit, yeah.
Yeah. They definitely stumbled through Captain America.
Fantastic Four though.
I mean, it's coming.
It
excited for
really
that?
looks like they're breaking the mold on that one.
I mean, we did what you need to prepare for Fantastic Four. Just the comics, the cartoons, all the movies.
Mhm.
What's your relationship with Marvel's first family, and like what's your anticipation like?
I've always thought they were a little boring. I
Right.
don't know why. I mean, it's not that I have anything against the characters. Like, they're fun, and there's certain stories where like, oh my gosh, that was so good. Like,
Yeah.
usually, especially in a what if title, that a Fantastic Four what if something, those were always really fun. And it's just, I think the person needs to know how to handle them, because there's that family dynamic, but there's also the adventuring dynamic. So it's a very interesting line to walk. And I feel like that's probably what a lot of writers who do Superman say, because it's like he's the super powered person, so powerful. You've got to find that thing of finding the humanity without every single villain pulling kryptonite out of their belt. So there have been some great runs on Fantastic Four, like when Ben got turned back into human,
Mhm.
and Ms. Marvel was the thing for a while.
Yeah.
But stuff like that. So that's fantastic stuff they've done, no pun intended. But I like that they're nailing the 1960s aesthetic in the movie.
Yeah.
The Fantastic Car and all the stuff they're doing. The
World
white,
of Tomorrow
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
feel.
And
Yes.
and like I think it's like good that it's like a different world. Like that's how this could work. Is
Yeah.
where could this family exist? Only in this world. Only in this
Mhm.
time. Like it's something that when you watch or when you read the old stories, it's just cheesy and you're not really buying it. And it seems like Johnny Storm would just like leave, and sometimes the Thing just doesn't talk about the fact that he's a thing and he's just too goofy, or sometimes it's like too much. And like in the 2005, it was just like the movie, it was just too sad, and it was you're like, either fix him or don't. And they do that too. They fix him, and then he just kind of goes back and he's like, no, I'm gonna stay this way. And I'm like, give him a wristband or something.
Right.
Like let him Ben 10 this thing or something. Like and so
I like that they're skipping the origin.
well,
Yeah.
I
We
don't,
don't need
I
it.
don't think they're skipping it, but they're gonna make it like in East. It is gonna be an origin story movie. Don't kid yourself.
Well,
like,
they said they're 4 years in.
yeah, but it's gonna be flashbacks, and
You'll
it'll
get
be
that for sure.
that's
but-
what it's gonna be. It'll be flashbacks, which is good. Like I love Lost. Like you can show me something before you show me something else, and it matters. So I think that.
But
like,
I don't need a whole movie exploring an origin.
well, that's all they did in the original 2005 Fantastic Four. Then the next one with Miles Teller.
Yeah, Fan
Fantastic.
I don't recognize that movie as existing. That was one of the worst. If I saw that on a plane, I would walk out. That's how bad it was. It was
We
just,
think I think they're gonna pull it back in.
You're exactly right. And this is what's funny. Like I've rewatched all these things I'm talking about just to get in the mood and like see how they're gonna do this movie different. And every time I come back to that one, Fantastic, I have not been able to hit play. I'm like, I know how bad this is. I remember rewatching it like 2 years later and not liking it at all. And you talk about just a long, boring origin story. That's what it was. So this one, I think it'll be like, yeah, they've been the team for 4 years. And then like in the cartoon, Fantastic Four, the 1995 cartoon, I
Mhm.
believe, they're on the Dick Clark talk show telling their story. And in this trailer for the movie, they're definitely like in the media being like, oh, we have dinner every night, Pedro Pascal says. So I think in that way, we'll get the origin story through TV or flashbacks, but it won't be the focus. It won't be taking up too much room.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I think it's going to be like, I think you've said before, and I think we heard on the Phase Hero podcast, and Scotty said this, like, I think we're going to it's going to be like a big ending with a big loss for the team, and stakes are going to be big. And that's what's going to make this world come to our world, as, you know, a term that comic book fans know, incursion.
Yeah.
But also, if you've been watching the Marvel movies, they've talked about incursions and crossing. The multiverse is nothing new. So here we go. They're going to bring him in. So I'm so pumped. I guess my hopes are pretty high for that one. I hope that they nail it, because it is a tough thing to nail.
Yeah, as we've seen. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, they've done it before, but I think the sad ending, I think they're going to kill Herbie. That's why they put Herbie the robot in there. They're going to K2SO him. And at the very end, they're just, you know.
Oh,
So-
man. I can't wait to get K2SO back in
I
Andor.
know.
Have you guys watched it?
I watched the first 2 episodes.
I also watched the first 2 episodes.
I've watched the first 3 episodes. Season 2 is out on Disney Plus. I think it's great. Those first 3, I was like, yes, this is great. I mean, just dropping into the action, getting it going. Like, they stuck to like 4 big storylines, and they kept the characters. The characters are like grouped together more in this season, so you're kind of getting everybody more at once, because we're getting to more of like things are happening, so that you can feel the build, the tension. The tension in season 1 is kind of like this long, slow, nice tension with like scenes of an underbelly of a town in Star Wars you've never been to. We're going to spend some time in the prison system, and you'll see like that. You'll see the rich perspective. Season 2 just seems like the foot's like on the gas already. So I hope they keep it going. I'm loving it. Tuesday nights.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I think I still don't understand how in season 1, Stellan Skarsgård and Fiona Shaw did not get nominated for something for their performances, because
Man,
those two just
real good.
killed it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful. And Rogue One, that's one of his favorites.
That's
I don't know
one
if
of
you
my
like
favorites for sure.
Depending on my mood, it's either my second or third favorite Star Wars movie, just depending on kind of the mood I'm in that day. But it's always Empire's number 1, and usually it juxtapositions between A New Hope and Rogue One.
I mean, it's hard not to talk about it. So like The Mandalorian and Grogu, you excited? Do you care? Are you a Mandalorian fan?
I was until season 3.
Season 3 just kind of like, what are we doing?
They just took too many weird turns.
I totally agree.
I liked aspects of it. The fact that they actually brought in now her name's escaping me, Starbuck.
Oh yeah, the
As
know what you're talking about.
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. The same voice actress as from the
Yes,
Clone Wars.
which I love that aspect of it. But yeah, Katie Sackhoff. Thank
Katie
you.
Sackhoff.
There it is. The fact that they brought in Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan.
Wow, you really know
to
your
the
stuff,
voice.
James.
I know. Thank you. But she was great. I just like when you cast someone like Jack Black, you're going to get Jack Black in Star Wars
And Lizzo.
That episode. And as much as I love Christopher Lloyd, that was another.
What are you doing?
It's
It was just confusing. That whole episode was just like, I was just like, what are shows now? And it was also like around the time She-Hulk was kind of pulling some of the same stuff. And I was just like, what are we doing now? Even though She-Hulk's more built for that type of thing.
right.
You know what I mean? Like the structures of a She-Hulk comic would totally pull something like that.
Yeah.
Why is this happening in The Mandalorian? Was that even The Mandalorian? I'm like, was this Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, they get kind of
episode
cloudy.
5?
Yeah, they get very cloudy. But to your point, I'm one of the people who will defend She-Hulk, that TV series. 'cause
You and me both.
I
man.
read the John Byrne run, and that
And
was the
it-
John Byrne She-Hulk.
That was
That's-
it.
That's what Jenna
Like
says.
people,
too. Jenna
people were just like crazy. Like, oh, She-Hulk would never do this. I'm like, you've never read a She-Hulk
never-
book
Exactly.
yeah.
in your life.
And Jenna Anderson on the Face Hero podcast, she wholeheartedly agrees with you too. And me, I'm a fan. I love it. My wife was not a fan. It's just like, I think it's just one of those things that you either, if you don't know the tone of She-Hulk, and if you're not just like generally like a comic book fan, you might not be into that type of show, because that's what it is. It's kind of like a panel by panel. We're just, you don't know what's going to happen. I can pick up any book and just be like immediately in. So I do like She-Hulk. I don't give it a bad rap at all. I think it's a really good show, for the record, and give it a shot, give it a chance. I come back to it. I'm like, this is a fun rewatch.
Yeah.
The ending kind of threw me because it was a non-ending.
Yeah.
But other than that, up until that point, I was like, this is great because,
But I like-
she's breaking the fourth wall like
Yes.
Deadpool. She came
Right.
first.
For sure.
Exactly. And it's fun to have a couple characters that can do that. The
Yeah.
Deadpool movies are arguably the most fun superhero movies that exist.
Yeah. Why is she sleeping around? You've never read a She-Hulk book in your life.
Hooked up with Juggernaut, I think.
Yeah.
It was pretty. And Wyatt Wingfoot was another one of her paramours. So yeah, She-Hulk gets her something.
Well, we're on to something. We're just pretty much talking about every fandom and like recapping what's going on. Like, so I guess like, what do you think of Spider-Man?
I was very glad that with Tom Holland, we didn't have to see Uncle Ben die again, because I was at my wit's end with that point. I like that he's the younger Peter Parker, but my biggest complaint is his reliance on Iron Man to be Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Like they took that away a little bit when Tony showed up and said, "Give me the suit back." But overall, his origin has been so tied to Iron Man
Mhm.
that I just don't like that. He should be very much a standalone. So I'm hoping this next movie we will see that, now that no one knows who he is.
Yeah.
He's out there, and the fact that they've referenced him twice now in Daredevil.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping
Oh
that
yeah.
there's a
They're
crossover
talking
there.
Yeah, they're talking Brand New Day.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
See, and Kingpin, the actor, I'm horrible with names today.
D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio has gone on record and said, "I would love to throw down with Tom Holland's
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man." So
I think we're gonna get that. I mean, at the end of like spoiler alert for a new show that's out, Daredevil Born Again. Are you caught up?
I think because that's one of the ones my wife was like, "Oh, I kind of want to watch it, but not really." I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm done. I can't wait for any more. So I binged the first 3 episodes last night before I went to bed.
Well, I'm glad I asked. So let us know when you're done.
Okay. Yeah, the first 3 episodes though were so good.
Yes,
the
it's
ending.
great.
I just got to the point where they took care of White Tiger.
Yeah, and I won't spoil a thing for you, so that's perfect.
Did you watch Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
No, I haven't done that one
Yeah,
yet.
that one was really good. I was
Yeah.
impressed.
It's great for kids, I would say, and like I still had fun, but it's definitely great for kids.
Mhm.
That's my
and 45-year-old men.
The style of the animation looks
Yeah, you're
really
right. I'm not
cool.
trying
Yeah,
to put
it
you.
was
I'm not
cool.
trying to put kids in a box or Scotty in a box. I guess like I love Spider-Man and I know it. So
It wasn't super deep,
and
is what you're trying to say.
we did an episode on it too. So like you could go back and listen. But I'm recalling some of my feelings. It was like I didn't really need another Peter Parker. Like that was kind of frustrating for me.
Mhm.
And I also know that they like originally that show was going to be a Tom Holland show.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 100%. And there are things in the show that like were left over from that like I'm all for, but they kind of treated them as Easter eggs, and I'm like, it felt like camouflage to me a little bit. It's that rewriting thing again, where like you can see like the original cut, and you're like, man, what an opportunity to like bring Miles in. So that was my personal take.
So now that you've said that, what is because everyone's got their Spider-Man animated series, whether it's Spectacular or Ultimate. So what is yours?
Mine was Spider-Man the animated series,
94.
the 94.
Yeah.
Yes, and I mean X-Men 97, little cameo.
Yeah.
That was him. That was my Spider-Man for sure. How about you?
The voice I hear in my head, because again, I'm terribly old, is Dan Gilvezan, because he was Spider-Man in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. So that's always the voice I hear. But I really liked Spider-Man 94 too. They did such a good job of incorporating it. The action figures that they came out with that line were so incredible. So it's between those two.
And I've watched some like Icons Unearthed on Amazon Prime did Marvel, and I was learning that one of the people that was originally at Marvel ended up being a buyer for Fox. I forget her name, and
Margaret Lesh.
probably so. That sounds familiar. She could buy the titles to get them into cartoons like on TV, and she was talking about X-Men, or actually, sorry, the X-Men for sure, but the Spider-Man the animated series, and it was I always thought that Peter Parker was like just way too buff. And she was like, yeah, that was exactly, it was built on the toys and what would sell. And it made its way. That's how much power the toy market had, as you guys know.
If you're not selling toys, you're not making
That's
money.
why Young Justice got canceled the first time
my
around, because the
God.
toys weren't selling. I'm
Don't
like, are you
get me
kidding me?
started on Young Justice.
Wow, struck a chord
God.
here. What happened with
Young
Young
Justice it was so
I
good.
think you got to talk about it with that reaction.
God, Young Justice. And they just left it in the ether for so long. And then they finally brought it back. And it was just, it was not the same.
No,
But
that's,
man,
that's why it got canceled after 2 seasons, because they said the
couldn't-
toys
yeah,
weren't selling.
they
I'm
couldn't
like,
sell toys, so they canceled the show.
Yeah, well, and
That's how important toys are.
And I learned that. Like I learned it impacted the stuff from early on, and I'm sure it's still like now. We know exactly how that works now. They're just a little bit. I feel like they're better at it now. Just make it just like one character and go all in on that or something.
But that's why they're rethinking the Star Wars stuff, because a lot of them are sitting in Ollie's at bargain bin.
Oh, for
a lot of
sure.
the
I
toys
see them
aren't selling.
piled up in there.
You're
They've got
talking to
the
an
retro lines.
Ollie shopper. Are you an Ollie?
I try to go to Ollie's like, at least once a month.
I guess
to look at their graphic novels.
I gotta
because
reach
they're
out to
Oh,
the-
yeah.
They're so cheap.
I got to reach out to their marketing department, I guess. You're a real shopper over there.
No, you can usually get, because if there's toys I really want, I'll usually pop into the one up in Florissant because I grew up there, and I'll just see, I'll see, because I'm looking for some of the Transformers stuff and some of the G.I. Joe stuff, but the Star Wars stuff there's
so
not enough
much.
compelling characters.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Plus, they've got the retro line, then they've got the Black Series line, then they've got the fully articulated line, and it's too much. It's a fire hose of stuff that nobody
Mhm.
wants.
Figure it out, Disney.
Yeah. I was so happy when they opened an Ollie's right up the street from my house.
He always brings in stuff from Ollie's, running like books and stuff even.
Man, I got like these big D&D kits that had like boards and pieces and all kinds of stuff, and they were selling them. They were like $75 brand new, and they were selling them for like $4.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Some of that stuff, even if I don't want it, I'm like, I really can't pass that up.
Yeah.
I'll get it anyway.
Yeah.
because how inexpensive it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the toys are a big deal. And again, that was their strategy. Again, not to repeat myself, but in the 80s, they had the toys and the comic book and the cartoon, and they all fed each other.
Yeah.
So that's why He-Man worked, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Jason the Wheeled Warriors, all those
Mhm.
properties, the reason they did so well. And if you've seen the documentary, The Toys That Made Us
Yes.
on
Oh, yeah.
Netflix,
Yep.
Yeah.
those are so good. And they dive into all that, why these were successful.
Man, so many toys. I can't imagine how much my mom spent on toys.
Yeah, same.
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja-
I
yeah,
had
I had those.
every turtle and every villain.
Yeah, I had every Power Ranger.
Yeah,
Did you have the pizza wagon?
I did have the pizza
launcher?
wagon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would
I had all the He-Man. I had Castle Grayskull. Man,
I was
This-
one of those very lucky kids who ended up with a G.I. Joe aircraft carrier because there was a Sears surplus up on Washington and Lindbergh up in North County again. And I wanted one so bad. They were like $129 regular retail price, which in $1985 was
that's
quite a bit.
lot.
It's like $1,000.
And I kept begging my mom. She's like, just save your money, save your money. So I ended up saving like $40. We're at the Sears surplus. They had one marked down to $65.
Wow.
And she says, your birthday's next week. Give me your $40. This will be one of your birthday presents, and you can't open it until your birthday. So that was the longest wait I've ever had to wait for a present because I knew it was there. But it was amazing. 7 foot long, probably still
Man.
for my money the best playset ever made.
It was huge.
A chopper?
No, it was an aircraft
That
carrier.
aircraft
7
carrier.
feet long, and
Yeah.
you could put your Sky Striker and your Tomahawk helicopter on it and everything like that. It was so cool.
That's amazing.
I bet if I went to my parents' backyard, I could probably find some G.I. Joes buried
Dig up.
for sure.
Such a great toy. Probably my favorite toy line. The more I think about it, as I have recently, it's
There
just
was just so many.
so good.
Well,
Yeah.
it all started with Spider-Man, and as we talked about the cartoons we liked, we talked about Tom Holland. Big fan of the Into the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that. next
Waiting
one.
for the part 3 of that. I mean, those are pretty amazing,
It's
right?
taken way too long.
I thought it'd be. Oh, you're doing it part 1 and part 2.
I
Like we
thought
had
this
with-
would be something
yeah.
you had like worked on right after you finished the second one. Like,
Mhm.
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with X-Men 97. Let's go.
That's why I'm excited. Rick Leonardi will be at the convention, so I get my Spider-Man 2099 signed
Oh,
by
man.
him for that.
I'm definitely going through the list and then going through my list of books and seeing if there's anything I can bring
That's a pro tip
to get signed.
for comic collectors. That's the pro tip. Do your inventory. Make
Check
a
your-
plan.
Check your inventory.
I'll work
you
that
know,
in.
I got my CLZ.
I like
Man,
getting stuff double signed too, because I'm going through all the lists and I found out that the stuff that Roy Thomas had done on Justice League overlaps by 2 issues with Chuck Patton on Justice League 219 and 220. So I was able to get those issues signed by both guys. I'm very
Nice.
excited. So the little cross collaboration between the artists and writers at the con. I always like getting them stuff double signed and then slabbed because I'm a nerd.
Well, yeah, it's like the literal crossover of like they're both here.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's do a wrap up. I'm Logan. Follow us on Mostly Superheroes at Mostly Superheroes. Scotty Scoop. Say a final goodbye and where you want people to find you.
You could find me anywhere.
Yeah.
Scotty Scoop on the gaming stuff. You can find me Rabid Platypus on anything else.
Ollie's.
Find me you can find me at Ollie's. You can find me at any number of the, dozen comic book stores in the St. Louis area.
Shout them out. Where you go?
I go to Endless. I go to St. Louis Comics, Cards, and Games. That's right up the street from my work. Apotheosis, Comic Book Relief. Man, there's just so many good ones. Tater Tot. I've been to Tater Tot a couple of times.
I'm guessing you know these people, James.
Oh yeah. We're so blessed in St. Louis because I know a lot of places have had the brick and mortar comic book stores closed. I feel like on a per capita basis, I feel like the St. Louis area has a really robust number of comic book stores. We're
Yeah.
very fortunate.
Yeah, you can find them.
All right, James, where do people find you?
You can check me out at Geek to Me Radio on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Geek to Me Radio, YouTube.com/Geek to Me Radio. If you're playing around on YouTube at all, go there, hit the subscribe button, and then click the little bell icon so you get notified when Joey V, my executive producer, is in studio with me. We go live every single Sunday with video where you can see our guests who we're talking to. And we have a new show. I've not missed a single Sunday with a brand new broadcast since I've started my show. So even Memorial Day weekend, that Sunday, will be pre-recorded, but it will be new content. So you're not going to get a best of or a repeat.
And it's the real deal with real guests and real stars, amazing interviews.
Thank you.
Really, kudos on the show. And, of course, tworiverscomiccon.com. We'll see you May 23rd through 25th. That's Geek to Me Radio, Cloud9 Comics, and a lot of other sponsors.
So many to listen. Bugs, Comics, and Games. The Fantasy Shop is bringing in our Justice League cast. The Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau sponsored Carl Lumley. We've got the City County Library for St. Charles, brought in Roy Thomas. Viviano's and Son, Tenacious Eats, obviously, is helping us put on the Conan screening. Cardinal Sin Distillery, Soda Museum, and Main Street Arcade. The Cozy Shop is fantastic if you'd like a nice warm hoodie with some St. Charles pride on it. And, of course, 1057 The Point. You can check us out.
Oh, you got a promo code, right?
Yep. Point.
Get you a discount.
Yep, I think it's $5 off your ticket just put in the promo code POINT.
Heck yeah.
And they're doing some giveaways too. So we're going to be on with Rizzuto later this month talking about that. And we're doing some Mark Bagley giveaways as well.
That's awesome. And we'll keep you coming on Mostly Superheroes. We got people over at KMOX and KTRS. Of course, you have all the people there. And I'm producing for a local station. You might remember 590. The Fan in your city show with Kelly and Gordon. I'm helping promote it's going to be 5 days a week, 4 to 6 p.m. starting in June. So, this will be after your con, but for future cons, that station will help us out and anything we can do in the meantime. And obviously we talked about getting a booth and stuff. So we'll see you that weekend. And thanks for coming in.
Thank you. This is great. I always love talking to you guys. This is fun.
Mostly Superheroes is proud to be funded in part by our sponsors. Mostly Superheroes is funded in part by paying patrons who receive early, ad-free, and exclusive episodes. Subscribe at mostlysuperheroes.com/support. Thank you for supporting your favorite independent podcast. Mostly Superheroes is an independent podcast owned and operated by Carrogan Ventures in St. Louis, Missouri. Hosted by Logan Janis, Andy Hunn, and Scott Swearingen. Brand and creative by Carrie Clark Design. Music by Audionautics. Learn more at audionautics.com. Find more at mostlysuperheroes.com.